was there as a guest of Ted Waite, someone we had known for 30 years, I believe. They must have been dating. And this was, of course, long before certainly I knew anything about.
And that's fine. If that's your testimony, that's your testimony.
I was not telling my dates who their guests could, or my guests who their dates could be.
It's just an odd coincidence. Okay.
You are asking questions that
Counselor,
are requiring opinion. Can you ask a question that is?
How long have you been married? Can I ask that? Very smart, scary recall. Like if he meets you 20 years later, he remembers what you wore, what they were saying.
In Rhinebeck, New York, and that she may have accompanied Ted Waite, who was reportedly a family friend, or at least was at the time. You, of course, were also present at the wedding. Do you have any recollection of Miss Maxwell's attendance at the wedding?
I have no specific recollection. Obviously, there's a picture of her being at the wedding as my husband walks my daughter down the aisle. She was there as a guest of Ted Waite, someone we had known for 30 years, I believe, who was a strong supporter of my husband and became a friend. And there were more than 500 people at the wedding. So other than that picture of her at the wedding, I have no recollection of talking with her. I was pretty focused on my daughter and the wedding party and the wonderful occasion that it was. So I don't recall having any conversation other than the fact she was there, and she was there as Ted Waite's guest.
And the understanding that you had, if any, about her relationship with Mr. Waite, what was your understanding of that, if you had one?
That they must have been dating. And this was, of course, long before certainly I knew anything about the activities that she was charged with engaging in and the crimes that she was convicted of.
During her interview last year with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, Ms. Maxwell said that she may have met you on a flight from Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard to New York. That's not a lot to go on, and I would note that one of the charges Ms. Maxwell faced was perjury. But do you recall ever meeting Ms. Maxwell on a flight from Massachusetts to New York?
I don't recall it. I'm not going to say it didn't happen, but I don't recall it. And my memory too, counsel, you would have to check this, but I believe I was told that in her long interview with Todd Blanche, it's Todd Blanche, right? Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, she herself said that she attended the wedding as Ted Waite's guest.
My point here is all these millions of people that supported you and your husband, hundreds of thousands that you met. In 2010, one of the most significant events of your life is going to be your only daughter's wedding. You have 500 wedding guests from all reports. That means, and there's a groom involved, so you're distilling down to 250. Only 250 people can attend. And it's your testimony that, how did Ms. Maxwell end up at the wedding?
She was the guest of Ted Waite, who was a longtime friend of our family.
So it was just an odd coincidence that she was at one of the most. No, I mean that's fine. If that's your testimony, that's your testimony.
I was not telling my dates who their guests could, or my guests who their dates could be.
It's just an odd coincidence. Okay. See, would you describe your husband as a smart guy?
Excuse me, are you asking her to testify about her husband
Not
instead of, because he's going to be here tomorrow, so you can
you
ask
think
questions to the witness
Ma'am.
that is for her, but it seems to me that you are asking questions that
Counselor.
are requiring opinion. Can you ask a question that is?
How long have you been
respect to
married?
fact?
Can I ask that?
Oh, do I have to answer that? 50 years.
He's a pretty smart guy by all accounts. Would you agree with that? Highly intelligent. I think he is. I didn't vote for him,
Well,
but I think he
then
is.
I will.
We're going to agree on
with
that?
your
I mean, I don't
opinion.
think that's controversial, Counselor, because everybody that I've ever met that has met your husband and has firsthand experience describes him as the smartest guy in the room when you're in the room. Very smart, scary recall. Like if he meets you 20 years later, he remembers what you wore, what they were saying, which is a great tool and asset when you're a politician.
So Chelsea met Ghislaine Maxwell through Ted Waite as well?
I believe that's right.
And I believe you testified earlier, Ted Waite's been a family friend for like 30 years or something to that effect.
Early 90s, yes.
And having a friend that long, did you never discuss Miss Maxwell with Mr. Waite?
I don't discuss the relationships of my friends. That's up to them.
And so to be clear, you never discussed Miss Maxwell's relationship with Mr. Waite?
Not that I recall, shortly, as my memory is that shortly after the wedding, on July 31st, 2010, shortly after that, they broke up. And shortly after that, he married somebody else. I know nothing about the relationship. I'm just describing what I believe was the chronology.
Understood. And upon that breakup, as you said, Mr. Waite never said anything to the effect of why they broke up.
Not to me, he didn't.
Circling the 2013 CGI annual conference has been brought up on a few occasions today.
Yes, indeed.
I believe you said you did not remember seeing Miss Maxwell there, is that correct?
I do not recall seeing her there.
And you had no interaction with her at all?
Not that I recall.
After this 2013 annual conference of CGI, did anyone raise any concerns to you about Miss Maxwell being there?
Not that I recall.
Separate from just the 2013 event, did Mr. Band ever raise concerns about Miss Maxwell to you?
Not that I recall.
And again, just to clarify, did Mr. Band ever attempt to blacklist Miss Maxwell from any Clinton Foundation or CGI events?
Not that I know of, but I can't say that I would have known.
When did Mr. Band leave the foundation?
I don't know. I don't know.
Does 2012 sound possible?
She
I'm not
doesn't
gonna
know,
hold
I
you.
so
don't know.
if she's answered, the witness answered the question.
If it was during my time as Secretary of State, I wouldn't have any reason to know.
Who would have final decisions over the list of individuals or entities that would get recognized at a CGI event?
It was a staff decision.
If the staff made the decision, would the board have any input on that?
Not that I'm aware of. They
Any-
might make suggestions as to people that should be contacted or followed up with, but I don't know specifically, and I certainly don't know anything about her involvement.
Understood.